Today being Good Friday and Passover starts tonight. This year's celebrations come as many reflect on the lack of peace on earth, on streets in America, and most notably as war rages on in Ukraine. We're joined right now by Father Rocky Hoffman, Executive Director of Relevant Radio, and Howard Apotheker. He's Rabbi Emeritus at Temple Beth Shalom in Columbus, Ohio. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Rabbi Apotheker, I know you just got back from a relief mission to Poland. Can you tell us what impression the trip left on you as you were actually serving there among the refugees?
Well, I was confronted with a very sad situation. These folks were, in desperate circumstances. Most were in transit from one small transit station to another, until someone was willing to accept them for a longer period of time.
And what kind of encouragement were you able to offer them? Because in light of the fact that everything in a sense has been taken away from them, what do you say? What do you say to somebody facing a refugee life?
Well, one thing you can do is go to the refugee centers, as I did. I searched them out. I had to find them in various places and actually ask for a list of stuff that they needed that day and at that moment. Mm-hmm. And so I found myself going from one refugee center to another, and then going to the supermarket with literally thousands of dollars that people donated to me, and buying the stuff that they needed at that moment, whether it was Pampers or yogurt or fresh food or whatever they needed. I was there to do that.
That's wonderful. And I think that many times, whether we are dealing with war or we're dealing with the loss of a loved one, it's those immediate needs that can minister, so to speak, to people very quickly. Father Rocky, the war in Ukraine is obviously weighing on the hearts and minds of so many of the faithful. What is, you believe, the right message to be spoken across the country this Easter weekend?
Well, I think the right message is what the Holy Father's been saying since January, and that's we pray for peace, and he denounces unjust aggression. What makes it really complicated these days, we know that superpowers have nuclear power at their fingertips, and so things can escalate and get out of control. And so he's got to be very prudent in what he says, but he calls for peace, and he realizes we need God's help down here on earth right now. So a couple of weeks ago, he consecrated Russia and Ukraine to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, and he led by his example of he was the first one going to confession. So he said, sin is what causes violence in the world. So it's a very sad and distressing situation. But the message is God can help us, and we need to turn to God and ask him for his help. And when things look really bleak, like they did on that Good Friday when Jesus died, right around the corner is redemption. And so it's a week full of paradox. What looks like a loss actually turns to be a win. And we know because of God's grace, everything can change for the better in an instant. So for us, Good Friday it's a day of hope, because there's forgiveness and there's a second chance, and the loser becomes the winner, like the good thief on the cross. It's full of paradox. So we continue to pray. And tonight he'll be leading the Stations of the Cross at the Colosseum. And he's doing something really quite daring, as Pope Francis often does. He's chosen a Russian woman and a Ukrainian woman who live and work and study in Rome, who are friends of each other, to carry the cross in the 13th station as a gesture for reconciliation and peace. Of course, this is going to be criticized, but people may not understand this. But Pope Francis is, I would say, idealistic, hopeful. And, at the end of the day, peace is a gift from God, and we need to ask God for that gift.
Absolutely. Rabbi Apotheker, I wanted to get your take on just exactly what the faithful could be thinking now. Obviously, as the Father mentioned there's a lot of duality here, and Passover itself has double meanings and double lessons within it, and its importance to the Jewish community.
Absolutely. 2 points. Number one is that our Passover Seder, there's a line that says that each person is to see him or herself as someone who came out of Egypt. And when they crossed the Red Sea, somebody had to be, or at least we imagine ourselves to be, those people helping those refugees in a wilderness that could last quite a long time, 4 days, 40 days or longer. And then the other line is in the Passover Seder is everyone who is hungry, come and eat. And our task is to be God's hands. Even as we pray, we need people who will facilitate God's goodwill, and that's our task: is to help the Polish government, help the local governments. I was in Krakow to help those governments and to be God's hands, even as God wills it.
One of the things that I love about talking about topics like this is that every person, no matter what their ethnicity, their geography, their culture, their background, or their faith, everyone is seeking peace at these times. It's something that humankind wants desperately. And I thank you both, Father Rocky Hoffman and Rabbi Howard Apotheker, for being with us today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.